Let's start this with a prayer. Dear Father, I thank you for this day and this opportunity to be used as a vessel to let your people know that you are available, able, and ready in the name of Yeshua from Nazareth. So we're going to cut this bread. It's in the message, Galatians 5:13 through 15. It's going to make you question you. This made me question me last night. And I know it's some work that I got to do. So 13 says, it is absolutely clear that God has called you to a free life. Just make sure that you don't use this freedom as an excuse to do whatever you want to do and destroy your freedom. Rather, use your freedom to serve one another in love. That's how freedom grows. For everything we know about God's word is summed up in a single sentence: love others as you love yourself. That's an act of true freedom. If you bite and ravage each other, watch out. In no time, you will be annihilating each other. And where will your precious freedom be then? So last night when I did this study, man, I thank God for my Titi Francis. I promise you I do. Because we just did a 30-day fast and I went deeper with God than I ever expected to go, and to see him in a new light, and literally to have him be like, nah, you're done playing. You done playing with me. You done playing with you. You done playing about this. Okay, God. But like, when we do this, the way that she cuts this bread, I thought I was cutting bread this whole time. I got like 160 something videos. No, I think I was just picking off crumbs. But anywho, it is absolutely clear that God has called you to a free life. Absolutely means with no qualifications, restrictions, or limitations. God has called me and you into this free life where we're not a slave to anything. We ain't a slave to, man, our past, people that say we're not this, that, and the third, any emotions, anything like that. We ain't slaves to it. Cool, I got that. Then it says, just make sure that you don't use this freedom as an excuse to do whatever you want to do to destroy your freedom. Now, 2 days ago, I upped the strap on somebody ready to like destroy my freedom over something that God told me to leave. So this really made me question me and being like, where you really at, Tanya? What you really doing? Like, all of that stuff is for the birds. You can't get mad about things that happen in the world or when your flesh folds on you. Your flesh got you out here. My flesh had me out here acting wild. Oh, yeah, it's going to be this. For what? For nothing? For nobody? Not like I'm laying down my life for a fellow brother in the kingdom. Like, no. Rather, use your freedom to serve one another in love. That's how freedom grows. For everything we know about God's word is summed up in a single sentence: love others as you love yourself. Listen, that's the conundrum right there. And I had my sister call me from prison yesterday, and she said, you know what, Tanya, I was thinking about you, and you know how to be compassionate to everybody else but yourself. And I thought about that, like, I really do know how to be there for everybody else but for me. So I had to go through everything in my life to get to this point where the realization kicks in, like, I haven't loved me. Because when you love you, or even if you love somebody else, the way that you move for them is completely different. You talk nice to people that you love. You go out your way for people that you love. You don't want to see people that you love get hurt. And me, here I go, Helen Keller in this piece. It's going to be what it's going to be. And then while I'm sitting there and I'm talking to my Titi, she says, write down how God sees me. And then I'm thinking like, dang, how does God really see me? And she's like, you a daughter. I am a daughter. You're loved. You're wonderful. You're fearful, fearfully made, whole, a new creation. And then I wrote, needs direction, hard-headed, stubborn, kind, lovable. If you know me, like, either you gonna love me or you gonna hate me. And you ain't gonna hate me because I'm trying to make you feel some type of way. You gonna hate me because you feel some type of way. I really don't have too many people that hate me. And if they hate me, I don't know about it. But to get back to me, like, if I gotta love, and I really do try to do this, I really do try to love other people with the love that I have, right? Like, there was this lady who came into work, and one of my coworkers was like, Tanya, she's super mean, X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 blah. And I think it takes somebody who's been hardened by life to speak to somebody else who has been hardened by life, and we can just soften this out real quick. By the end of the little situation, the blood draw, whatever, she's up giving me a hug. She's like, oh my gosh, if I would have known you were here, I would have came here. I never met this lady before in my life. But I could see the pain and like, nah, we ain't gonna do that today. We ain't gotta do it today. So I get it. So I know for me, in order to love people better, I gotta love myself. Like, man, hard. You know what, Tanya? How you feeling today? Like, do self-awareness checks, do some introspective reflecting on me, because I want to be the best man at what God has called me to be. And that's really like breaking down walls. Like, it's some tough love that has to be shown, but it's also like, literally, look at me, because this is what he did. I used to be like this. I used to move like this. I used to act like this. I used to talk like this. And now I'm like this because of him. Because he took my heart of stone and he made it a heart of flesh. It's dope. So that's an act of true freedom, loving others as you love yourself. If is a big word. If is always like, if you do this, it's like tipping the scales. It could be balanced out for you, or it can weigh you down. If you bite and ravage each other, watch out. In no time at all, you will be annihilating each other. And where will your precious freedom be then? We just talked about the fruit of the spirit, the flesh, yesterday, and how you got a brutal temper. I'm super thankful for everybody that comes into my life, whether it's for a season, a reason, or just, a pleasing or appeasing. Like, it's always going to be something. And this last person exposed the unhealed version of me. The brutal temper, the intolerance to be loved, or love, the vicious habit of depersonalizing everyone into a rival, because I literally was like, everybody out here fugazi, and I can't rock with them because everybody looked the same and I'm just going to stay to myself. That's not how this is supposed to work. Listen, you gotta go deeper in this. You gotta go deeper in this with the Most High. Annihilating is to destroy. Ravaging is to cause severe and extensive damage. Yo, the unhealed version of me, like what's still in me, because I'm thinking like it's rotten. And my titi's like, nah, you ain't rotten, you unhealed. To make you act out like this, you unhealed. Ooh. Don't nobody want to still hear that they have open wounds that ain't healing properly. But it's okay to see this part of me, to know that I need to love myself a little bit more, like, and let that be intentional, because the flesh is the rebellious, unruly part of your inner self that is operative all the time. That it's that part of us that doesn't want to be told what to do. Listen, that was such a big part of me. Don't tell me what to do. Nobody. Don't nobody tell me what to do. I'm gonna do it. Man, I've been operating in the flesh for a long time. Had me going out of my mind too. The flesh abuses freedom. I have this freedom to come and do whatever I want, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to say what I want, even if it hurts you. I'm going to do what I want, even if it hurts you. That's not how God moves, and I'm squandering my freedom because it's absolutely clear that he called me to a free life, but I want to abuse my freedom. I got the freedom to love myself, to love on him, to love others, to uplift others, to encourage others, to, man, murk the devil when he comes around these parts and really be about that life. I'm not going back. I'm not going back, baby. For what? It don't make sense. This flesh will have you in the corner like, oh my gosh, nobody loves me. I can't. You sick. I am loves me. God of the angel armies loves me. Adonai loves me. Elohim loves me. Jehovah loves me. Come on. And now it's time for me to walk it out. This is my thing. Like, I know what it's like to be alone. I know what it's like to be hardened. I know what it's like to be broken. Man. And I know what it's like when he come in and get you out that pit and he puts you on a hill and he tells you to shine, baby. It's not about me. It's about what he's done. And I'm just the example. I'm just the testimony like, hey, I just went through X, Y, and Z, and this is how it is, because my flesh could say you got to feel some type of way. But when I looked to him, he was like, nah, I killed that right there. I'm going to show you how it was about to go down. What? We ain't feeling pain no more? Say less, God. I'm rocking with you. I want to encourage you. Love yourself today. He called you to a life. It's absolutely clear that he called you to live a free life, not a slave or in bondage to anything. Check that out for you and those around you. You deserve to live an abundant life. Holla at God.